Hello, 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 beautiful brown
Hi.
girls family. Welcome to the replay for those of you who are tuning into the replay. Welcome to the live for those of you who are tuning into the live. As you can see, we got some new looks and things going on, y'all.
Oh, geez. I like it.
Ow.
New background, who this? Or new,
Okay.
what's the name? Who this?
New everything. Who this, right? So we
Hi,
are
everybody.
definitely trying to give you all a new and improved experience, and this is
Trying to
just
move
the
on up.
beginning.
Trying to
Let us
upgrade.
tell you, we've got all types of things that are planned. So those of you who are here, you get the exclusive. You get to see our new branding, right? So we've kind of done like a soft rollout of putting out some things. And Sav and I did a whole photo shoot like experience yesterday. It was like super dope. But we are just really excited about the next level of brown conversations and beautiful brown girls as a whole. It's just so many things.
It is. We're trying to grow this thing and we're trying to do it up in fun ways. And I love this new, what do you call this? A header or a
A new
banner?
overlay. This is our overlay.
I love it.
Yes.
I love the colors. I love the logo, the fonts. I love everything. So shout out to Christina and team. You ladies are doing a wonderful job making us look all good on this thing. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Listen, we popping out here in these streets. So we see y'all coming on. We know we just don't ever take it for granted that y'all hang out with us every other Monday here on Conversation. So as you all are coming in, make sure that you say hi in the comments, that you let us know where you are watching from, that you also tag some of your girlfriends, honey, so they can get in here and participate in this conversation as well. And go ahead and share the broadcast on your screen so that we can get as many people in here for the conversation as possible, because we got a lot that we have to talk about. We always do. I feel like we say that every week, but y'all, the things be happening. So we really need to get the people in here. Also, if this is your very first time hanging out with us, we want to make sure that you drop first time in the comments so that we can celebrate you. And if you are always here with us in our beautiful brown girls community in BBG TV, go ahead and type "Hey beautiful" in the comments so that we can acknowledge you. I'm sorry, Sab, you were about to say something. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
Was that? I was actually just greeting everybody in the room, everybody that was coming in. I was just calling people out. I see Cindy in the room, Dr. Kimberly, Anita, Jana,
It's
Kim.
Cindy's first time. It looks like it is Anita's first time here with us. Shout out to our first timers.
Welcome.
And welcome.
To see some new faces, some new beauties to the conversation. Welcome to the brown conversation.
Absolutely. So once again, if you have not done so already, make sure you go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from and tag the people that need to get in here for this conversation. So what is this that you're watching? This is our virtual platform where we talk about all things brown girl related. We are here to connect you to other like-minded women and give you a platform to share your voice in the conversations that matter to us and those we care about. So we invite you to follow Beautiful Brown Girls and follow us individually as we take this journey through life. My name is Kimberland, and I come to you from Pennsylvania. I'm an educator, author, life coach. I love helping women to discover their God-given purpose. And tonight, I am one of your hosts.
I love it. I love it. Well, welcome. I am Sab, and I come to you out of Dallas, Texas. I'm a marketing professional here. I am a podcaster, and what else do I do? Yeah, those are the things for right now. I mean, I feel like I'm busy all the time with things, just trying to catch up and starting a new job. I feel like adulting is like, there's so many on my checklist to do every day, and there's just not enough time in the day for me to do what I need to do. So I need help. I need coaching. I
got you, boo. Just go to my website. I got you. Okay.
But no,
I'm just saying, yeah. So let me go ahead and remind those of you to go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com. That is the place
Mhm.
you are able to connect with us. It's our VIP space for Beautiful Brown Girls, and you get to hear about all of the amazing things that we are doing out here in these beautiful brown girl streets. We have a whole bunch of announcements, so we're going to fly through them, not super quick, but just kind of attune yourselves, as they would say in church, govern yourselves accordingly so that you know the things that are happening. So first off, we have a brunch wine tasting that is coming up now. Sab,
Ooh.
we know this is something after your own heart here of having the wine. So we've got that coming up over on our
Traveling
members
fair.
network. We also have a virtual game night that is happening. So I know. I'm so excited about that. So definitely put that on your calendar, March 21st at 6 p.m. Then we also have our new space that is coming up last week on, was it last week? No, it was a few weeks ago. So the few episodes ago of Brown Girl Boss, we interviewed Danewa Denise, and she is going to be hosting this new space, Sister Circles. And it is a collective space that is really focusing on healing and grounding techniques and mindfulness and all of that. So that's kicking off on March 13th.
Mhm.
Then we also, of course, have our monthly virtual chat room check-ins with Hey Beautiful and our hosts Aisha and Nicole.
Hey.
So that is still going on. We have Zumba that is happening. And then we also have our next episode of Brown Girl Boss on March 10th. It's taking place with Sade Jones. And she's going to be talking to us about time management. And I don't know about you, but child, I got so many things going on. I be needing
Yes.
some help. Okay.
Yes.
So if you
Yes.
are wondering where you can find all of these things, again, go over to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com. And there you will be able to get connected to all of the events that we have going on. All right. Whew.
Lots going on.
I
Exciting.
know.
Always exciting times.
Yes, they're here, girl, for our new look. They're giving us all the accolades
Yay!
in the
Like
I
the new
feel brand
decor.
new.
Got the new
Yes.
colors.
You
Glad you
know,
guys like it. We try to make it a comfortable space for you.
yes, it's super
An
inviting. So
inviting space.
definitely love it. Definitely love it. All right. Are we ready to get this party popping and get into the things that we've got for today?
Let's get into the things.
Let's get into it.
Coming to America. So we've talked about this before. It's coming out this Friday on Amazon Prime. So get your popcorn ready, get your wines ready, get your virtual watch party ready. I'm excited to watch this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really curious to see what the plot is going to be. We're excited. You got Wesley Snipes, just a full star-studded cast. So Kimberland, are you looking forward to it?
I'm so looking forward to it. Y'all saw me doing my happy dance over here. Like, I am so excited. I feel like we've been waiting for it forever because it was
Yeah.
postponed. Remember, it was supposed to come out like Christmas. Like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm going to be in front of my TV on Friday. Cannot wait. Christina said, finally. Okay.
Yeah.
I am so ready for this. So yes, I am uber excited.
And I'm thinking okay, so I'm glad you're excited. I was just gonna say maybe they just pushed it back because they wanted to make it good, because everybody has a critical eye under this, because anytime you do a remake of a classic, everybody is really critical. So
For sure.
am one of those people. So I'm going to be looking at it with a keen eye, be like, on you.
I agree. And I remember I was nervous when it was first announced. So I'm ready. I'm excited now. So we'll
All
see.
Right. So next, Jamie Foxx is back with a new sitcom called Dad Stop Embarrassing Me, and Netflix on April 14th. And I am here for anything Jamie Foxx comedy. I'm here for it. So April 14th, Netflix, and Netflix too is on the come up with an up and up and up and up, which is so much really good content these past panorama streets. So they're coming out with a lot of great content during this time. So we're here to consume it, and I'm here for it.
And I see that's David Allen Greer there. So
yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Be on the lookout for that. Also, we have, okay, so Barack Obama, our forever president, along with our,
Uh-oh.
oops, no, go
Okay.
back. Sorry, that was my fault. So, Biggie, I got a story to tell. He has a documentary out on, as of today, on Netflix. I saw this and I'm definitely here for it. I know a lot of people in New York and BK, right? Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
I think I'm from New York, but I be trying to act like I be knowing what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
Brooklyn, the things.
So, yeah.
Sure.
A lot of people are here for it. I've seen the excitement surrounding it, but I definitely want to know more about Biggie. I mean, yeah. So
Yeah, I'm
today.
interested to see if they're going to like have him speaking, like what it's gonna look like. Like I haven't seen any of the trailers or anything.
They had a lot of footage. Like they have, like I know they had videotapes back then, but like they was really videotaping like up a storm back then. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah. So I'm here for it. What about you, ladies in the
Yeah,
community? Looking at the community,
yeah,
yeah. People, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so next we have on the docket Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen have a podcast. And I'm an avid podcast listener. Kimberland, you have a couple different
I
podcasts.
do, I
So,
do.
yeah, so it says it's the latest entry into the podcasting game. Comes an unexpected duo, definitely unexpected for me. Former President Barack Obama and legendary musician Bruce Springsteen, the first of two. So it's going to be a series. It's not going to be a whole long podcast. So it's called Renegades, which I'm like,
Mm.
okay, Renegades, born in the
Okay,
USA.
title.
I know, Renegades. So it'll be on
Yeah.
Spotify. So if you're interested to hear what Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen have to say, definitely. I'm laughing because I'm like, Bruce Springsteen, Barack Obama. I don't know. Maybe they're BFFs back in the day, but I'll take a listen.
Look, they look cool as on the way here. So I guess so. I'm here for it. I can dig it.
Okay. You know who else has a podcast coming out? One of our faves. I feel like she's a lot of our faves in the brown girl community. Ava DuVernay is coming out with a podcast called The Leap Files, and it's
Mm.
LEAP. And this stands for Law Enforcement Accountability Project. So it comes after the When They See Us, and the Selma filmmaker set a multi-year partnership with audio platform in January. So
Yes.
I'm here for what Ava has to say. I don't know if it's a series or if it's a long podcast, but the podcast space is a very opportunistic space. I talk about my podcast, so I'm definitely here for it. Definitely,
Yeah, I feel
definitely.
like if like Ava drops gems often.
Yeah.
So I in holding police accountable. Ooh. Okay, girl. Sound like she about to be spitting some real knowledge here. So
You know what else is
I'm
out?
ready
Well,
for
I'm
it.
going to share with you. I don't know if we had a picture up, but the United States versus Billie Holiday, and we're going to talk about her. Is it Andra Day in a minute?
Mhm.
But her that is out now, and I believe it's on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. The United States versus
Mhm.
Billie Holiday. I haven't heard much chatter about it. You ladies in the community, have you heard anything about it?
I have. I've heard people saying that acting was phenomenal. And, spoiler alert, she won last night. And, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I have heard people say that they really enjoyed it. So it's actually on my list of things to do in the next couple days to check it out and see what we've got
Watch
there.
list. I need to make a watch list. All right. So Ruth E Carter. So we've seen the Black Panther. We've seen Malcolm X, Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever. I'm assuming you ladies in the community have seen it. But Ruth E. Carter is a costume designer, and she will be the first Black costume designer to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The music industry legend is the first Black costume designer and second costume designer ever to have her name enshrined on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, as I mentioned, she's famous
Wow.
for all the looks in Black Panther, like all of the beautiful looks in Black Panther. And I am here for it. I am
Yes.
here for it. So congratulations to like it's well deserved. Like I've heard of Ruthie Carter for so long, but her name really became. I started to know of her during her Black Panther days.
Me too.
So
Me
I'm
too.
excited for
Yeah,
that.
this is super well deserved, and I think a welcomed first, second. Just let's celebrate this brown girl magic,
Mhm.
by enshrining it on the Walk of Fame. That's a huge deal. So shout out to her.
All right. So next, I'm gonna let you talk about this one because yeah. So I mean,
Cause you what?
I have a um, I like Beyonce. I do. I'm just not. If Beyonce were to sell escrimage and feces on the internet, I feel like people would buy it just because it's Beyonce.
Oh my
I'm not that
goodness.
person, but I am a fan of Beyonce. I am a fan of Blue Ivy, and that's it.
So Beyonce drops her new Ivy Park line.
Ice and drip.
I'll save you from yourself there.
Ice and drip.
So icy drip.
Feels.
And there are just some pretty cool looks that are here. So we got a couple here. And I do feel that Ivy Park, I feel like when it first came out, I was kind of like, meh, but it's really, really starting to grow on me with her different looks. So we can see her here modeling the drip and giving us the business here, right? And I see the bees in the comments. So just checking out what she has to offer. But she also reached out to different celebrities and influencers and things and sent over boxes, right? So they get the looks and they get to.
I couldn't find enough pictures. I couldn't find a lot of pictures. I couldn't find any pictures of
Yeah,
celebrities.
well, there were a few that were notable. So one, Viola Davis, and this is her daughter Genesis, that are pictured here, and they did, a thank you be for that. One I didn't get a picture of is Toby and Wigwe. So anybody that follows me knows that I just love Toby and Wigwe and everything that he stands for and his family. Well, anyway, he was on Jimmy Fallon maybe last week, and he did a shout out to Beyonce, and she sent us the Ivy Park. So because in their song Eat, they have a verse where they say I'm about to be on a first name basis with Beyonce. So that was pretty cool. But then also Blue Ivy was featured. And she's just growing so much. And a lot of people were commenting on her long natural hair. So we remember, there have been times when people had all the things to say, but she is just growing into such a gorgeous young lady. So she was also featured in modeling some of the new wear. So shout out to them.
So you would wear it now? Anybody in the community? Y'all would wear it?
Seriously? I would.
Beyonce don't make it look good. She'll make you want to get it. But like when you get home and you put it on, it's just like you feel frumpy because Beyonce looks good. You try to look like Beyonce. I don't know.
I'm here for it. Teresa said, no wonder we can't get the stuff. They're giving it to the stars. I know, right? Like, can we reserve like the stuff on a doggone on the website for us regular people? I would wear it. I think that it has become more wearable. I feel like when the things first came out, it wasn't so much, but now I would absolutely rock it in a heartbeat for sure.
Did you wear House of Dionne?
Send me a box, boo.
Did you wear House of Dionne? Anybody wear House of Dionne?
I didn't like that.
Okay.
But I am here for this Ivy Park collection. Cindy said that she would wear some of it. So I do think they are doing a better job of marketing to us regular people. But to Teresa's point, we need to go ahead on and reserve some of these looks, okay, for us regular people so we can get in on that too. All right. So that's that. But then they have been all over the news. So there was some additional news coverage with JayZ. And he's been in and out of all the things, but Tina Knowles had written an Instagram post and basically was like a love letter to JayZ, but it's centered around how people, and I think we even talked about it on the show. Remember when JayZ partnered with the NFL and we were kind of like, ugh, I don't know about that, Jay. Like, this is when we were absolutely, like boycotting, like everybody was like, no way, no how. Well, at any rate, Tina Knowles highlighted in the letter to JayZ that a lot of people had so many negative things to say and were calling him a sellout and like all this kind of stuff regarding the partnership with the NFL. But he had created this past Super Bowl like the blackest Super Bowl ever. So we had her saying America the Beautiful. Jasmine Sullivan sang the national anthem, and The Weeknd had a concert during halftime, right? So whether we liked it or not, the fact of the matter is that JayZ really was intentional in infiltrating and making change from the inside. So that's kind of what Tina Knowles was talking about, that he used his influence to really make a difference. So that was something that folks were talking about as well.
Do we feel like these efforts with all this blackety black show in the NFL kind of redeems him for all of the criticisms that he received from people on the outside and calling him a sellout, or I'm sorry, they called him a capitalist. I don't remember hearing the word sellout, but they definitely called him an opportunistic capitalist, which most celebrities are, right? They're trying to make their money, but they feel like he was a different kind of capitalist. And a lot of people in the community, the Black community, just didn't feel like he had our interest at heart, just because of maybe he was being strategic, maybe he was making moves in silence. I didn't have an opinion on it. Maybe when we talked about it on the show, I did, but I didn't feel a strong way about it just because I didn't. But a lot of people in the community did. So my question, or that I'm just kind of randomly posing for you ladies and or gentlemen in the community to answer, does this change if you had any adverse sentiments with him partnering with the NFL and working with the NFL, does this redeem him in your eyes? Just something to think about.
I think that I don't really remember how I really felt about it at the time. I think I was I don't know how I felt about it at the time, but I do think it makes a difference. I think it makes a difference. And I can see where he was going. I think at the time I couldn't really see where he was going, but now I can. So I can appreciate it now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Irma said he can do what he wants with his money. Okay. And then Teresa said, oh, this is a good one, Teresa. Wait, hold on. Keep listening. She said, maybe JayZ can use his influence to get Janet Jackson to perform at the Super Bowl again.
Yes.
So we didn't have this in our notes, but there was a lot of chatter about Justin Timberlake a few weeks past, because he apologized to Janet Jackson about allowing her to take the brunt of the criticism regarding what happened. And that event was really like a detriment to her career. Like things really got shaky like during that time. So maybe he can use his influence to restore her. Who else would we like to see him elevate since he has this position? Like who else would you want to see perform or be a part of the Super Bowl?
Outcast, Andre 3000.
Ooh, that would be so.
Andre 3000 would do an amazing job. I'm a fan. He can
that would be so Black.
Like and plus he's crossover. Like he's very crossover. I think, more so Andre than Big Boy, but I think Andre would turn it out. I don't know.
That would be so Black. Yeah. Who else, y'all? Well, let's put it out here into the atmosphere. So the same people that are going to send us the Ivy Park box, then they can go ahead and put in the hotline to Jay, so we can get these people in. Okay. So we just put the things out in the atmosphere. Y'all go ahead on and drop it. Drop it in the chat for us. Okay. Drop it in the chat.
All right. So, Kimberland, did you watch the Golden Globes yesterday? Did anyone in the community watch the Golden Globes?
Oh, I'm pressing buttons. Sorry, y'all. I did not watch it, but I did hear a lot about it. So I know there was some controversy, and then we also want to highlight some of the folks that actually won. So controversy first.
Sure. I did not watch it, but I did hear about the controversy surrounding it. There's this new campaign out called Time's Up Globes over no black. They're similar to Oscars. So whenever these Oscar awards come around, and often there is a deluge of whiteness and not a lot of black or minority people of color being nominated. And the criticism is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, right? That's the name, right? These members select winners of the Golden Globe, and they were recently outed yet again for not, because I've heard this before, for not having any black members in the selection committee. And I believe these are all foreign press, Hollywood foreign press, and they are known for snubbing black projects. And this organization hasn't had a black member since 2002. So Ava DuVernay, Sterling Brown, as you can see here on the screen, a lot of people are speaking out and criticizing the Black Foreign Press. Oh my God, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. And the Hollywood Association did come out with a statement, and I'm sorry I don't have it here, but they came out with a statement afterwards, after all of the criticism. But then also you had a number of black winners from last night that we'll talk about in a minute. But my thing is this, you guys, and Kimberland, Christine, you guys kind of call me, I don't want to say call me out on it, but I feel like we talk about this in nauseum every year with award shows, often when, there's not enough black minorities, and it's the same different day every time with these white award shows. And I just want us to stop seeking validation from these award shows in hopes that it's just going to get us to the pinnacle of where I just want us to stop seeking validation. And I also feel like it's in nauseam. We're going to talk about this again next year, but also yes. So that's my first point. My second point is, do you think they saw the backlash and said, hey, let's get a slew of black winners for the Golden Globes this year? So at least
that's what I was wondering, that second part. So, I am team, I'm going to keep talking about it until something change, right? But I wondered, I thought that it was really ironic that they were being called out in this Time's Up movement. And then we look at the Golden Globes and it's like, oh, okay, so we just got all the black folks, not all, but, a bunch of them. So I wondered that too. I wondered if that was the reason behind it all. So yeah, I don't know. So
some of the winners were Andra Day. We talked about her a little bit.
Oh. And I was going to say, I'm going to find pictures. So just be talking and okay. I'm going to throw them up because some of them.
I want to know. I'm going to talk to the community.
Some of them were cooperating.
Irma says, same conversation, different year award. Carmen, I don't know if you said you agree. I don't know if you agree with me or agree with someone else. And then Natasha says, well said. Thank you, Natasha. And then let's see who else we have here. Yeah, I just want to know, I agree with you, Kimberland. I also feel like you're supposed to continue to keep the pressure on these organizations. Mm-hmm. But we talk about this every year when we do. And I'm like, at what point are they going to hear us and change?
Right. That part. Yeah. But you were just mentioning Andra Day. So she was one of the winners. And you mentioned a little bit ago, the United States versus Billie Holiday. So she won for her performance in that. And that was just.
This is dope. I had no idea who she was. I still don't really know who she is, but I will be prompted to research her a little bit more to see who she is, because I didn't know who she was until I heard about this Billie Holiday movie. So yes, she won. And from what I'm hearing, well deserved. The late Chadwick Boseman won an award as well. He won. So I'm sorry. Okay, so Andra Day is, let me make a note that she is the first Black woman to win the Best Actress when the Golden Globe in 35 years for her portrayal of Billie Holiday in the United States versus Billie Holiday. 35 years.
Wow.
Can I just say, we need to stop running out of firsts. We really need to stop running out of firsts. Yeah.
But there are so many. That's what I was telling you. It's like hundreds. We're going to have hundreds and hundreds of the first, because we're not, in every aspect of life. So it's just kind of like, okay, well, I guess we just need to kind of get with it and see what that looks like. So I was looking for, you mentioned Chadwick Boseman, but go ahead and talk about him. I'm trying to find a good picture. They're all like really small, but
his wife gave his acceptance speech. So he won Best Actor. He won the Best Actor trophy in his final performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, that was starring Viola Davis, and those are the only two I knew, Viola Davis and Chadwick, in that movie. And he did a phenomenal job per usual. So yeah, he won Best Actor trophy for his final performance.
Now, did you watch her speech?
I did not. I didn't watch the Golden Globes.
I didn't either, but I saw that speech, honey. I saw that, as Aisha said, had me in tears, child. I could not get myself together. Like, I knew that it was tearful. I had heard that it was tearful, but I couldn't get right after that. Like, it was just so heartfelt. And just, it was really special. And she is gorgeous. You hear me? Gorgeous. So
he is definitely missed.
Yeah.
Hard void to fill. It's a void. Like, he feels like family, like cinematic family. Like, he feels like he's just done a lot. And I think a lot of people miss him. Myself included. Like, you miss, we didn't know him personally, obviously, but we miss his artistry and his artwork and what he was able to give. His dash. There's this poem that I read.
Yeah, the dash.
Yeah, his dash was a fulfilling dash. Not fulfilling, but it was a well-lived dash.
Yes.
A couple others. Daniel Kaluuya won the award for Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal of Fred Hampton in Judas and the Black Messiah, but his moment was overshadowed by technical difficulties, I heard.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
I watched Judas and the Black Messiah this weekend. Yo.
What'd you think?
It was amazing. Daniel, the guy Lakeith, like, it was a really
Stansfield.
great film, and it just it was a great film. So if you haven't seen it, I would definitely implore you to see it. It is currently on HBO Max until March 13th or 16th, I believe. I don't remember the dates, but if you have HBO Max, definitely check it out. It's up on until either the 13th or the 16th. I don't remember.
So y'all got a week or so, okay? A little couple weeks. Yeah.
And then finally, John Boyega. He won a Golden Globe for his best performance by an actor in a television supporting role for his work in Steve McQueen's anthology series Small Acts.
Now, have you watched any of the Small Acts?
No clue what
miniseries.
It is.
So it's on. We actually talked about it a while ago, but it's on Amazon, and there are 5 different movies, if you will. So what's her name? I can't remember her real name right now. Shuri from Black Panther. God, I can't remember. Y'all saw Letitia, maybe? Letitia, right? So. She was in one. John Boyega was in one. Like, it's a few people, but it's really good. They're heavy as well, too, though. So definitely, watch these things and, pay attention, but make sure you have some self-care as well, because they can be triggering, but really, really, really good performance. So Small Acts is on Amazon, and there are 5. So Jana said she loved it. So yeah, check those out. They're really good. So shout out to Mr. Boyega for winning as well.
Boyega. All right. I don't know this lady, but I don't care. And oh no, not this lady, but
I was about to say, what lady are you talking about?
my notes. I'm looking at my notes. My apologies.
Oh,
Tessica. We all know
it's back in the
Tessica.
news.
Do you know she's on Cameo? Cameo is a platform where you can, if you want a celebrity to send you a message, you have to pay a certain amount for this celebrity to record this message for you. I saw this.
Okay. Yeah, I heard
$600.
Oh, she's doing that. Child, she's using that platform, honey. But she is back in the news, and we know that we talked about her last show, as well as the doctor, Michael
Dr.
Obang,
Obang.
who
Bang, bang.
saved her. I was not ready for that. Who saved her hair, right? But at any rate, Tessica is back in the news because she was going to go to Dr. Obang. He's a cosmetic surgeon. So she went to him to be able to have like a mommy makeover.
Yeah.
Augmentation, what have you. And while she was doing her consultation, they actually found masses in her breast. And she had to have them taken out, and they're getting tested to determine whether they're cancerous or not. But it's really interesting because had she not had this whole Gorilla Glue experience, which led her to Dr. Obang, she would probably not have discovered that she had masses in her breast, right? So I think it speaks to a few things, recognizing that things work for the good, right? So even though that was like super traumatic and that was a lot that was going on, and she's still having all type of criticism behind this, which rightfully so, it wasn't that smart of a thing to do. However, it has led her to being able to find a discovery that is going to help with her health. So our reminder to our community is to make sure that we are doing our breast self-care exams, that we are really paying attention to our bodies, that we are going to our physicians to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. Having turned 40 is mammogram time. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's a thing, like get on the bus and let's get it popping. But it's something, that we all need to do and really pay attention to our bodies and our breasts. So we're definitely, as Natasha said, praying for Tessica and just sending positive vibes her way, because I can't imagine how scary that is, that you're thinking, okay, like I finally get a chance to recover life after this, experience, to get my mommy makeover, my banging body, and then being confronted with the fact that there are masses, and now having to wait for test results to determine whether they're cancerous. Like, I just can't imagine the level of stress that's there.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. We're praying for Tessica. I'm praying for Tessica, hoping that they're benign and not serious. But this has been a whole journey and experience for her. And, we hear that adage that things happen for a reason. And this experience hopefully she can learn from this experience. And I don't know what her relationship is with God, but maybe this will bring her closer to God and just make her a more prayerful person. And she may already be, so I'm probably speaking out of turn. So I apologize for that. But it's a scary situation all around, because I don't know how I would be dealing. Oh, yeah. Speaking of the lady that we were going to talk about that I don't know and didn't know, still don't know, her woman, former Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler, sells the WNBA team. And the reason why we're bringing up this woman is because Atlanta Dream to investors includes, so one of the owners of the Atlanta Dream, which is a WNBA team, is former WNBA player Renee Montgomery. So she's part owner and she's a former WNBA player. So she is the first former player to have actually an ownership stake in the WNBA league. We also remember maybe a couple years ago, Loeffler made some disparaging comments about the WNBA, or Black Lives Matter movement, and received a lot of criticism and blah, 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 blah. But the story is about Renee and her being a part owner, Black woman, Black former Black NBA player, part owner of WNBA league. So just wanted to give congratulatory shout outs to.
And who Kelly Loeffler is, she's the one who was defeated by Raphael Warnock in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
So,
see, I told you
yeah. Yeah, so she lost that seat and now she's lost the scene. Yay. So shout out to Lord, I'm losing my mind. Renee Montgomery for being able to get in on that. And again, yes, being another first, Karen, of being able to be owner of the team. So again, things happen for a reason.
Can I put a pin in the community to remember how, how we're talking and sometimes we have brain farts?
Yes,
we're trying to remember certain things.
Pin there.
So put a pin in that. Just remember those things. How just remember those things.
Because we're going to talk about that.
do it.
Yes, but speaking of basketball, and thinking about the dream, there was also a situation with LeBron James that happened. And we know that often white people get kind of upset when Black athletes utilize their platforms to be able to speak about things that are happening in this world. And we watched the NBA be super vocal about the things that are going on with Black Lives Matter. And they had their shirts and their masks and all on the court and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, there was another NBA player. I'm going to jack his name up, but I'm going to try my best. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, maybe. Okay. But at any rate, he basically told LeBron to shut up and dribble. Like, just be quiet and stop trying to sit up here and do all this advocacy. And LeBron James was like, I'm not doing that. So I recognize that I have this platform. I recognize that people listen to me and I'm going to use it to fight for my people. And we just really appreciated his commitment. He is so instrumental in doing things. He has a school in Ohio. He was instrumental in helping to pay off a lot of the former felons' fines so that they could vote in Florida. He is very active socially. So he basically was like, reject that, done with that. I'm going to say what needs to be said because people aren't saying it. And we need to make sure that we're utilizing our platforms difference. So what we wanted to submit to you all is that we all have a platform, and we've talked about this a few times here on the show about our personal platforms, and just wondering, what are you using your platform to advocate for? So what do you think, Sab? What are you using your platform?
Anytime I'm on Issa Rae's train, I root for everything Black. I do. And anytime and oftentimes when there's an uprising going on or when people are protesting, sometimes they're like, well, I am not the go down to the fight, protest, type. Everybody isn't meant to do that. I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but I haven't participated. So the point that I'm making is there are other ways to utilize your platform, like social. Your social media platform. There are other ways to utilize your platform and to amplify the message that other people are putting out. So I'm one of those people. However, I would go to a protest, but I just haven't. But the point that I'm making is that there are other ways to utilize your platform, and it doesn't always have to be stomping in the streets and having a bullhorn and making noise. There are other different ways to do it. Or you can have a podcast and amplify your platform. There you can help.
What like on your podcast, for instance, what are the things that you advocate for with your platform?
Oh gosh, how the experience of Black women and what we go through when we're job searching. And I just want people to realize that our experiences are very niche and very different, and they need to be amplified and talked about. And I just want other Black women to know that you're not alone when you're going through those things at the job interview or during the job search, to know that our experiences are very different. And I just want to help other Black women to know that you I see you, you are supported.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what the platform is about. But my
Yeah,
message is evolving.
I use my platform for a few things. So in my 9 to 5, I use my platform to advocate for Black and Brown kids and marginalized communities, and really bringing awareness to systemic racism in educational spaces. Then I also have a podcast where I advocate for healing generational traumas and really talking about the cycles that we need to break as Black people to be able to raise healthy children. I'm actually starting another podcast, and that podcast is going to be about living in this Black skin. So kind of how you're talking about with the job market and things, I'm talking about what it's like when you're being oppressed while trying to fight oppression, right? That's another platform of mine. And then the last one is advocating for those who are abuse survivors. So really bringing awareness to what it means to be in an abusive relationship, what it means to be a friend of someone who's in an abusive relationship. How can you support that person? What are the signs? Removing the shame and guilt from being in an abusive relationship, because so many of us look at it like a mark that you never thought you would have been in that situation. So those are the things that I use my platform for.
I love how you are both of us are taking our experiences and translating that into our podcast. But when you said that about the experiences about racism in the workplace or institutional racism or workplace, it made me think of that infographic. Has anyone seen that infographic of the Black woman in the workplace when she starts
Yes, girl, I share it all the time. Oh
when
my
she starts
God.
out in the workplace and everything is great. And
yes.
I don't know the name of the infographic, but when you said that, that's what I immediately thought, because we know that experience. We know that lane. Everything, when you start, everything is unicorns and rainbows. And then as you're there, the second phase is you start to see all the broken pieces, and then you speak up about the broken pieces, and then the white people in the place start to say that you're the cause of the problem. Yes. I'm sorry, that's a whole nother tangent.
I have the graphic, girl. Lord, Jesus. Yes. All those things. Yes. I do want to pause. A few people are asking about the names of our podcast. So go ahead and tell the name of yours, and then I'll share the name of mine.
Yeah, Bet on a Black Woman with Sab Jackson. And you can find it on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts.
And then one of my podcasts is called The Whole Child. And that can also be found on all of the podcast things. Mm-hmm. And my new podcast, should I tell everybody? This is exclusive.
Yes.
Don't tell nobody because it's not out yet. My new podcast is called Minding My Black Ass Business.
You go ahead the SS or the money sign S and the money sign S?
It's an acronym. It's an acronym.
Okay.
But that is my new podcast, because that's all I be trying to do out here in these streets is mind my Black business. Yeah. So that's that.
Speaking of Black woman trying to, I don't think she's trying to mind her Black ass business, but she's trying
to.
Dr. Princess Dinar, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing her name incorrectly, but she is at Tulane University. She works at Tulane University, the Tulane University of School of Medicine in New Orleans. And she is suing because she was my mind blew. I'm sorry. She was forced to share her program director title with a white guy. So when she spoke up,
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So when she spoke out about it, she got suspended or fired. I don't know what the difference is. I feel like I saw suspended, but then I saw somewhere else that said fired. So I tried to do my due diligence on this story, but her suspension was really peculiar, given that she had filed a lawsuit alleging racist and sexist treatment by the school leaders 5 months earlier. Princess is the first Black woman to be named as residency program director at the university. She was originally denied her current role, and upon reconsideration, she was given the position, but only if she was willing to share the position with a white male colleague after a dean at the medical school admitted that the administration feared that her hiring would deter white applicants. Let me say that again. The medical school admitted that the administration feared that her hiring would deter white applicants. So they wanted her to have co-title with this white guy. I am speechless. I don't know what to say. I'm glad that she's actually suing the university. I think we should all surround this woman in support and love and just advocate for her. But the idea that she has to share her title and the idea that they feel like her face would deter prospects from coming to that university blows my mind. New Orleans is probably the most densely populated city of Black people. So that's another thing that blows my mind.
You know, I'm from New Orleans. Tulane
Yes.
was actually, I wanted to go to school at Tulane, but they didn't give me enough money because I was committed to not paying for school. Yeah, NOLA is full of Black people, honey. Like, it is just so many Black people running around. But Tulane University and Tulane School of Medicine is not. It is not filled with Black people. And interestingly enough, Xavier University is constantly in a fight with Spelman and Howard of being the number one universities to put the most Black people into medical school. And where they do not go is Tulane. They usually are attending medical school elsewhere.
Xavier, I know Xavier to be a medical school. I know it to be a prominent medical school.
So it's like very, very interesting. It speaks to the culture that's there at Tulane. So good for Dr. Dinar that she is speaking up and speaking out about this and not settling for having to share her title. Somebody, Karen said, did she share it? Did he share in all the work she did? Right. So we're not here for the minimization of Black women and the relegation to, this co-sponsorship. You can only do this if you share it with someone else. So shout out to her. We'll be following this and paying attention to how this develops.
Oh, okay. I see that the sigh of we need more white people. It might scare away white people. Let's put a white guy in. It's just that whole scenario is just infuriating. It's incensing. It's bad PR for the university, which is I'm okay with it because it's not a Black university. But so we'll be watching it. Like Kimberland said. Sorry, I'm just a little like with this story. I am. It's just like I gotta share my title with someone. So COVID, we first started reporting on COVID-19 back in December 20th. I have in my notes here. And
like we curated a section. We're like, this is a thing. Like
we did. We had to have a whole section to report to you what's happening. So since more Americans have died from COVID-19 than the battlefield of World War I, II, and Vietnam. Wow. Let that sink in, right? There is a new vaccine on the docket. The FDA just approved it, I want to say a couple of days ago. And
they were shipping it out today, actually.
But this one is a little bit different. It's from Johnson & Johnson. The shot could dramatically accelerate the U.S. vaccine rollout. My challenge with this one is it's 66% efficacy, meaning, you can't. So if you were to get the shot and you were to contract the virus, you won't die, but it's 60% efficacy, and meaning that your symptoms might be a little bit more, they won't be as, it minimizes the severity of your symptoms a little bit.
Right. It doesn't provide as much protection. It's correct. Only 66% effective.
They're still testing it to see if they're going to do a second shot of Johnson & Johnson. But this one, you don't have to put it in these freezing conditions.
Right. Normal refrigeration.
Right. So, but my thought is, we didn't talk about this, Johnson & Johnson isn't on the up and up with a lot of people. From the baby powder, it was something else, the Johnson & Johnson. But I say that just because do your due diligence, do your research. I know a lot of people are still just have reservations about the vaccines overall. The challenge with this is you can't pick which vaccine you want.
Right.
You can't say, I want the Moderna or what's the other one?
I can't remember right now.
Pfizer, I think. You can't pick, is what I'm saying. So when you if you decide to get your vaccine, you get what they give you. So you can't.
So Jana just made a point, and girl, I'm not going to take the bait, but let me tell you, I got a lot of things to say about this one. But she said that's the one they'll give to the teachers and send all the kids back. I'm not going to take the bait, but I'm going to just say that part.
So I hope that the testing that they're doing on this still turns out that we will need a second shot to get that percentage up and to prevent us from contracting the virus. Yeah. Also surrounding COVID, we want to talk about the COVID relief bill raising the minimum wage specifically is the first Biden policy to be blocked by the Senate. You know, they were trying to raise the minimum wage to either 15 or 16 bucks or something. And the Senate ruled against placing the $15 minimum wage increase in the COVID relief bill. They will essentially, that's the thing. They were against putting it in the actual bill. So that means that if they do vote on this again, they'll just have to do it separately. So a lot of people were annoyed and upset and disheartened by that news, just because you should be paying people a living wage. I don't know. I think the minimum wage is like $7.50 or $8 right now. And
yeah, for a regular person. But if you're a shift worker, for instance, like in like a server or something, it's $2.13. Like, we can't be for real that we think it's a problem to pay people $15 an hour. I want you to understand that $15 an hour is still poverty. Like, I want you to know that, right? But yeah, there's just always so much. We spent so much time celebrating our essential workers and talking about the grocery store workers and the gas station attendants and like all these people that help to keep the country functioning, yet we don't feel that they deserve a living wage. Like, come on, man.
Right. But however, Costco increased their minimum wage for its employees to $16 per hour. The CEO says the average pay for an hourly worker at Costco is $24. So they're raising their minimum wage to $16 an hour, leapfrogging their competitors like a Target or Best Buy or an Amazon. I will say I always hear good things about Costco and the culture there from the outside. So if I wanted a part-time job, which I probably will at some point, I would want to work at Costco, because I hear so many good things about their culture, and I don't have a membership there. But yeah, so I just.
But I would, if I had to choose between Costco, Sam's, and BJ's, I'm gonna go to Costco, because at least they value their people.
Absolutely.
Jana had a question. She said $7.15 or $2.13. So I just looked it up. So it's $7.25 per hour is the federal minimum wage, unless someone is in a shift position, such as a server. Their minimum wage is $2.13. $2, the number after one, $2.13 if they are a shift worker, or $7.25 if the federal minimum wage.
$7.25 okay, $7.25.
I just looked it up.
I thought it was $7.50. Yeah, the Senate be on some. Can I just also say, I thought the Senate wasn't equal anymore. It's not balanced. So Kamala has
she's the tie-breaking vote.
Yeah, someone has to teach me and educate me on that, just because I thought that maybe we had the Senate. We meaning.
But what I don't know, someone who is a scholar out there in the civics, maybe you can assist us, is which bills have to have a simple majority, which is 50 plus 1, or a 2/3 vote. So see, I believe with this was a 2/3 vote, which is why it didn't pass.
Okay.
But I could totally be off, because the classes I did not listen in were social studies. I was not paying attention. But we will get back to you all on that. We'll do some more research on that. But yeah, so I know we wanted to talk about the fogginess that sometimes overlays what is happening here. So, Sab, give us some understanding of this term that you have introduced me to, which is social atrophy.
Yeah. So atrophy is like when your brain, mental atrophy is like when your brain is like stuck. Atrophy. So you constantly have to do things so that you aren't remaining stagnant in your brain or stagnant in brain. Let's just talk brain today. So,
and wait, let me pause you one sec. So just the word atrophy, because like there's muscular atrophy, and I'm about to tell you, there's muscular atrophy and things of that nature. So atrophy is like when someone, for instance, like in nursing homes where people aren't moving, or someone has a surgery and they're bedridden or what have you, the muscles become weaker, they start to deteriorate. Okay. So the word atrophy is about like deterioration or weakening of a particular something or other. Okay. Social atrophy. My pleasure. I do. So what I do know, my degree is in biology. So I do be knowing that kind of stuff. But them civics, child, let me tell you, I don't be knowing. Okay. But anyway, go ahead.
Thank you for that. So often for those of you who tune into the show, sometimes I'm like I don't remember names. I have brain farts. I'm like, what's the name? I have done that. And I've noticed that I've started to do that over the past year or two, or more so this past year. And there's this thing, I found this article and it says why we may have to relearn to socialize. And with socializing at a near halt with the pandemic, our social muscles have atrophied. Our social muscles, our brain, we may have to retrain ourselves to be with others again. But what I really wanted to focus on is the physical part, like the prolonged isolation, how it affects our memories and how our memories are our verbal recall, because we are essentially social creatures and we need plenty interactive stimulation to get the synapses in our brain working. So if you're finding more words escaping from the tip of your tongue these days, the lockdown is essentially playing a part of it. And as a result, we are socially awkward. I'm thinking how in certain situations, how I can feel socially awkward and how we're trying to re-socialize ourselves with meeting up with people or attempting to date, and how those situations can feel awkward and how we essentially have to relearn how to sit in a room with other people. And I feel like I didn't realize a lot of us were in the same boat. I literally just thought this was a Sabrina thing. And I was just trying to figure out what was going on with me over this past year with just recalling things and remembering things. And a lot of this has to do with the pandemic. I mean, because I'm not a lot of people all the time, but even when we were in the world, I was still with people, but this has caused me to be a little bit more isolated. So when you are finding yourself, if you are quarantining, it's has a lot to do with our brains and how they can atrophy because we aren't being interactive with other people. And we aren't just out and about. And throughout the process, it's important to be patient and kind with ourselves, says the National Social Anxiety Center has advised to keep in mind that every single one of us is now socially awkward to a certain extent. And some call to action, some things that we can do to kind of help with this is to engage in different types of environmental enrichment and to moderate the stress of isolation. So this could be physical activity like bicycling, social activity like virtual coffee meetups, cognitive activities like brain training games, as well as emotional activity and therapy. So you have to keep your brain going. Similar to my mother, I asked her, is she not out? Is she walking around? Or is she doing things? Is she on the internet searching? Like I want her to do things to keep her brain functioning and going. Similar with us. Like we have to be intentional about doing those things. And that's why I read. do audiobooks, and I also buy the book because I have to. So yes, am acknowledging that I have maybe experienced muscle brain atrophy over this past year. So you'll notice if you've been watching this show, sometimes Kimberly, you'll make fun, but in jest, like, Sabrina, you're gonna have to remember these names. And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah. Has anybody else experienced this?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Also, to add an additional layer to that, of recognizing that trauma causes brain atrophy and causes brain blockages and causes that fogginess, right? So if we think about, again, COVID and going through a global pandemic as a collective trauma, but then we've also had racial unrest. And not that it is new, right? But it is definitely in our faces consistently. And, you know, if we think about, we were gaslit like the entire time about both COVID and Black Lives Matter movement and all of those things. So all of that contributes to that fogginess and that disconnection. So, I love that you gave us some concrete things that we can do, because I know, like, I like playing games on my phone. Like, that's my disconnection thing that I do, is I'll go on my phone and play games. Well, I just found this matching game the other day, which sounds probably so silly, but it really makes me think, because it's timed and I have to, like, match these objects in a certain amount of time, and I do it before I go to bed. And I asked myself the other day, like, why do you keep doing this game? Like, this is so silly. But I didn't even think about the fact that I was causing my brain to be stimulated, and I want to make sure that I'm not just zoning out and doing, you know, mindless things, like making sure that we are doing mindful things. And then again, when you said having like virtual connections, or, you know, coffee meetups or what have you, or Beautiful Brown Girls social opportunities, that helps us to keep those connections working. Because I'll give an example. Like, I work from home now, so I barely drive. Right. And every time I get into the car, that automaticity is gone, like, of me. Like, I have to physically be like, okay, yes, match 3D. Annalise, you know exactly what I was talking about.
What is that?
But I have to, that's the game. That's the game that I play. But anyway, so when I get in the car, I have to, like, actually go through steps. Remember to adjust your mirrors. Okay, we did that. All right. So now we're driving. Okay. All right. Like, remember, like, it's not that automatic when I was driving every day, all day, jumping in the car, going. Like, it is a thinking situation for me now. And that's because I haven't utilized those muscles in the process. And I haven't been exercising that particular part of my brain. So it's something that I noticed, because I was asking myself, like, why am I getting stressed out driving? Like, I've never been stressed driving. Like, it's just driving, right? But it's because my brain isn't operating the way that it was before. So a simple task like driving can cause anxiety, or a simple task like having a conversation, or you mentioned dating. Those things can cause anxiety because our minds are so foggy. So, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. Yeah. So our mental health moment. We always try to do these, we do these every episode to help us center ourselves and to zen ourselves and to help us get out of this fogginess. So Kimberland, take it away, please.
Yeah, so our mental health moment this week is about what is it called?
Eating disorders.
It just happened to me.
No, eating disorders. National eating
disorders. But my social atrophy was just happening, like, right there in that moment.
See?
I was like, what was I about to say? It just totally escaped my mind. But yes, it is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. Right. And this came to me by looking at a news site, and I'm actually going to walk you out through the site in just a little bit. But it came to me by looking at a news site called Dr. K Beauty and Healing. And basically, recognizing that as Black, when we think about eating disorders, we don't think about Black people. At least I don't see a Black person. When I think about an eating disorder, I think about someone who is white. I see someone who is white. I see someone who is skinny. I see, that's the type of person that I see, right? So, this is bringing awareness to the fact that eating disorders are not just something that happens with white people, that Black people actually also experience eating disorders, and such as anorexia or binge eating, irregular eating habits. And I think we know that we struggle a lot with body image and body weight, but I don't think we necessarily think about eating disorders. So this post really made me be like, oh, wow, because we talked a few times about Taraji Henson's new show that she has on Facebook Watch. And she had Gabourey Sidibe on there. And Gabourey was talking about her struggle with eating disorders and her struggle with food. So we wanted to leave a little space to kind of talk through this and talk about our relationship with food, because I think it's something that is taboo and something that we don't necessarily discuss within our communities. And so I had to ask myself, like, what is my relationship with food, right? And I don't think I have an eating disorder, but I do know I don't eat enough. Like, so for instance, I ate Saturday afternoon-ish. That was the only time that I ate Saturday. So I usually only eat one time a day. So I ate Saturday. Yeah. So I ate Saturday afternoon. I didn't have anything yesterday. Nothing, not a bite of nothing. And then today, probably somewhere around 3 o'clock, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to make myself eat. Now, part of that is because I have been stressed and there's a whole lot of things that are going on that I'll be talking about on my podcast. But, I wasn't eating, right? So then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do I have an eating disorder? Because that is an irregular eating habit. I don't eat enough. Like, I will not eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, I usually just eat one time a day. I usually don't even think about eating until maybe the afternoon. And then I'll have something, but then it'll last like throughout the night. So then I don't want to eat dinner because I already ate. So it's a thing. Like, it's a thing for me.
The timeline of you not eating for a long period of time, I don't know what's considered a disorder or not, because I'm listening to you because you're like, there are times that I just don't eat. There are times, but you eat, but there are times that I just forget to eat and not eat. I don't know if that necessarily is considered a disorder.
Correct.
Because I'm not a doctor, but
it is an irregular eating habit. That's for certain.
Because you don't talk about this on a regular. So you don't, I don't know. But when I think of disorder, I think of prolonged periods of time. You start to see physical changes and attitude changes in someone, because ultimately that affects you. But while I don't see you every day and don't talk to you every day, I would push and challenge someone to say, is this considered a disorder just because I didn't eat Tuesday?
Right. It's a pattern, right? But that's why I said in it is not just what we have conditioned ourselves to believe is that it has to be like anorexia or bulimia. And that's something that this is bringing to the forefront. And a regular eating habit is not healthy. Right. And I know that, but it is a thing. So then Annalise brings up another point. So she says she used to work at a treatment center with teens who have eating disorders, and they were all Caucasians. And when she came across the brown girl, it was shocking, but she thinks it's more common than we think because food is big for brown people, especially if you're from the South. So when I think about how I was raised, right? So I don't know if your house looked anything like this. Y'all tell us in the comments. If this is what it looked like when you went to your grandma's house. So you get to your grandma's house and you have to eat. when she says to eat. And not only do you have to eat when she says to eat, you have to eat all of your food. Every single morsel on the plate. It doesn't matter if you're hungry. It don't matter if you're allergic. It don't matter. You gotta eat all the things that are on that plate, right? And I remember when I became an adult and I would ask, like, because I would eat until I was like full, like ridiculously full, like almost sick, because I'm thinking I have to eat all of my food because that's what I was told. Don't be wasteful. There are kids starving in Africa. Like, you have to eat all your food, right? And I thought to myself one day, like, this is not healthy. I'm not hungry. Like, I'm done. I'm satisfied. I'm done eating. So I think as brown people, we very much have this relationship with food where we don't know when we're satisfied. We don't know when it's time to stop eating. We continue to eat and overindulge because that's how we were trained, right? I don't know. Did it look like that for you at your grandma's house?
No. I didn't.
Look at you.
No. It's just because I didn't have that. I didn't have that relationship with my grandparents. My mother's.
Gotcha.
I didn't have that relationship with my grandparents. Yeah, on my mother's side, I didn't have grandparents. And then on my dad's side, I didn't spend as much time with those grandparents. So I didn't have that relationship with my grandparents.
But did people force you to eat, like your parents? Or like, I used to catch whippings for not eating. And my mama couldn't cook. Like, she was horrible. Okay. And I would not want to eat that food. And then she would say, if you don't eat this food, you're going to spend the night at the table. And I used to be like, cool. Because what I'm not about to do is eat this food, ma'am. And I would literally just be like, slide my plate over and just, and it's good night because I'm not eating it, right? Or there were times I can remember eating so much that I felt like I had to vomit. And she would threaten me and say, if you vomit, you're going to have to eat that too. Like, and I would catch a whipping. I remember my cousin being at my grandma's house. And I remember my cousin actually throwing food under the table. Because I told you we had to eat every morsel, right? Karen just said clean plate club, right? We had to eat everything. So my cousin always sat in the same place and she would take her food and she would throw it under the table so that she didn't have to eat it. My other cousin would ball her food up in a napkin and she would go to the bathroom and throw it out. I would just hold my food in my mouth and just be like, because I didn't want to eat it. So it really is. It's a thing. It's a thing. I want to catch a couple of these comments. Aisha said, irregular eating habits are about control. It's often when we feel out of control in other areas. The one thing we can control is food, whether we eat or not, what we eat, how much we eat, whatever. It's about control. And we live in a time where so much feels out of control. That's a good connection, Aisha. Annalise said, if you don't eat, you're offending the family. Yeah. And if you're skinny, you have to eat because you're not healthy, you need to eat some more food, get some meat on your bones, Jana said, I also think it depends on your relationship with food. What is the emotional, mental connection? You can have an unhealthy diet without having an eating disorder. So even that, like, there are times where I'm like, I can't take this right now. I'm about to make some cookies. Over it. I'm about to have some ice cream. I'm done. Right? Over it. Or I'll even be like, I'm about to order this hamburger because I'm pescatarian, right? But there have been times like over the past year where I've been like, you know what? I can't say I'm having a hamburger. That's what I'm doing today. Like, I'm having a hamburger. I don't even care. Right. So it really is thinking about our relationship with food and not making it so simple as just being like, well, just eat or just don't eat. It's not that simple. It really is something else that is going on there. So what you thinking over there? You look contemplative.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about your experience and I'm reading these comments, your experience, my experience, and it makes me think that our parents, you guys, just didn't know any better. They didn't know any better, forcing us to eat, whipping us because we didn't eat. Like, they just didn't understand or have a sense of like empathy or understanding, or just, I don't want to say they didn't know how to parent.
But that's how they were raised.
Yeah, I know. And that's
their
trauma.
Parents
that's
made
that
them do
generational trauma that's passed on. And I'm just like, damn, like, Damn. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy. But I do want to really quickly show you all this website, because this website
Yeah.
the Instagram page is Dr. K Beauty Healing. So I just put the link into the comments, and I want to share my screen to show you all this website, because I came across this website when I was looking for a new therapist. So you all know that I relocated to Pennsylvania, and I didn't have a therapist here. My old therapist was in Florida.
You couldn't do
And
telehealth?
no, because she's licensed to work in Florida, and I'm
Oh, yeah,
technically
yeah.
not in
Sorry.
Florida,
Sorry.
right?
Right.
So I had to find one who is in Pennsylvania. So in doing my research, I came across this site called Dr. K Beauty Healing, and basically this site is a place for brown girls specifically to be able to get mental health support. So what happens is you go to the site, and then you can explore the directory, and you are able to get free sessions, free mental health counseling sessions, and they have therapists in all of these states. Okay. So basically, what you do is you're going to use this sorting field down here. So I'm going to filter, I'll do Texas for Sab, since that's where she is. So we can scroll to Texas, and you can also filter by gender. And then when you press search, it'll bring up the clinicians who are in that area.
Mhm.
And basically, all you do is contact them, and you say, I found you on this site, and I would like to be able to get some mental health support. And it's free. You can get up to 10 sessions. It doesn't matter. It's not with insurance or anything like that. It's literally through this collective at Dr. K Beauty. So here we see that there are 5 therapists in Texas. 2 are full. So there are 3 options. For instance, in
All of them are
Pennsylvania.
full? Dang.
No, 2 are
Oh, 2
full.
are
There
full.
are 3 other options.
Oh, I did
And
see
then,
that.
like in Pennsylvania, there are several. So even a male is present there. So you can go on there and see who is in your area and really get some support. So again, it's called Dr. K
Sweet.
Beauty Healing, free therapy for women of color. So if you are looking for mental health support, check it out. It's free. It's free mental health support for women of color, and you can't beat free. So,
Thank you for that. Well,
yeah,
that's
you
a
guys
wonderful,
check
vital,
that
awesome
out.
resource.
Yeah.
I was therapy searching today through the job, and they give through the EAP, and they give like a certain amount of sessions that are for free. So, not free. I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, they're free.
Yeah, they're
Anyway,
free. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And that's
I have.
employee assistance program for anybody who has not
Yes.
tapped into their EAP services. Jobs have EAP, but sometimes it's kind of hard to get started. So that's what happened for me. I was trying to use my EAP, and I was running into a wall, and I ran across this. So I actually have my first appointment with my new counselor tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Sweet. I told you, the adulting. There's so many things that I gotta find. I gotta find a new gyno. I gotta find a new dentist at so many things when you're starting a new job. Like, it's just, yeah,
Yes,
it's a lot.
the things. Yes, for sure. So we definitely want to go ahead and catch our beautiful brown girl. Wrong screen. Catch our beautiful
Brown girl
brown
spotlight.
girl spotlight. See, so social brain atrophy. It's happening in real time. So go ahead and tell us about herself.
Yeah. So the Sunda Brown Duckett, she will become the second Black female CEO in a Fortune 500 company. A couple weeks ago, we had, the name escapes me, but let's focus on the Sunda today. So she is the new chief. She is the new chief of TIAA. She will be the only third Black woman in history to serve as a full-time CEO of one of the 500 largest companies, so Fortune 500 companies. So the Sunda Brown Duckett tapped to be TIAA's CEO. She becomes the second Black woman this year. to be promoted to CEO for a Fortune 500 company. Oh, Rosalind Brewer, my soror. So she became the CEO of Walgreens, being the first in 2021. So I'm here for it. We're here for it. Anytime we see a brown woman, woman of color, well, in this instance, a Black woman, woman of color, become a CEO, because there's not many women of color CEOs in Fortune 500 companies. So I remember, I feel like we talked about her in the previous, when she had got the title at TIAA. But congratulations to her. Love to see it. The other Black woman that I remember, she was at Xerox. I don't remember her name, but it was another Black woman at Xerox that we probably talked about at one point. But
yeah, we're all for elevating these Black CEOs, our Black women, our brown girls. So
I don't know if
shout
she's Greek or
out.
not.
I feel like she might be a Delta, but I might just be claiming her. I don't know. I'm not going down that road with you today. But shout out to her in her accomplishments. It is a really big deal to be a Black woman in a room full of majority white men.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Thasunda for being amazing. Yeah. So having said that, let's go ahead and land this ship. So we definitely want to make sure, again, that you all are connected to us in all of the ways that matter, and that you have tapped into our member space. So we want you to be sure to go over to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com so you can see all of the amazing things that we are doing in our spaces. We also want to make sure that you have connected with us on Facebook at Beautiful Brown Girls. We have a Facebook group called Beautifully Shaded, and Beautifully Shaded on Instagram and Twitter at Beautiful Brown You. And just a reminder of all of the amazing things that we have going on right now. We don't want you all to miss out on those. So I'll very quickly just run through them one more time. So we have brunch wine tasting that's coming up. We have a game night that is coming up. We also have our new social space of Sister Circles that is happening. Our Hey Beautiful monthly virtual check-ins, Zumba, as well as our next episode of Brown Girl Boss, which is going to be this coming Wednesday, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, March 10th at 8 p.m. where we'll be talking about time management with Sade Jones. So definitely want to make sure that you all get connected to those spaces. And Sab, tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me on sabjackson.com. All of my social platforms are there. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. I'm most active on Twitter. And I would love to connect with you there. And you can listen to my podcast, please. But I'm a Black woman. I've turned it into a bi-weekly podcast because I'm like, recording every week is a chore. So so would love to have you just engage with me there.
Awesome. And you can find me at kimberlandjackson.com. I'm actually in the process of revamping my website, but you can find all of the things that I do on my Facebook page, which is Kimberland Jackson, or on Instagram at Kimberland J. As I shared, I do have a podcast called The Whole Child. I'm going to be starting my new podcast, Minding Your Black Ass Business. And I'm also an author and a life coach. So if you are looking to discover your purpose and really tap into the purpose that you were put here to fulfill on this earth, feel free to reach out to me on any of those platforms, and I would love to connect with you to usher you into that. And I also have a book project out called One Day at a Time. And it's 365 days of devotions, affirmations, and encouragements. So you can also find that on my website. So having said all of that, as always, we are just so grateful that you all are hanging out with us. We'll be back not next Monday, Monday after next. Jesus, help me in my brain right now. On March 15th, we'll be back with our next episode of Brownversations right here on our Facebook page, and really talking about the things that matter to brown people and the people that we love. So on that note, we will see you all next time.
Thanks for tuning in, ladies. Bye.
Bye, y'all.